Vision. Anna here in Southern California, attempting to do this whole live YouTube streaming. I'm going to take a second to check my internet connection. All right, so the topic for today or for this moment or the vision for the moment is to actually ah, share about this topic. Reasons why living blindly or why being blind or living with sight loss is so exhausting, right? We can rephrase this whole title. However, I just title it Reasons Why Being Blind is Exhausting. And many of us have been able to see before. We have had 20/20 sight, and I'm sure that those who have experienced vision loss or went blind later in life probably agree with Anna that experiencing vision loss and living with sight loss is tiring, it's exhausting, right? For obvious reasons. And I'm going to stop here to invite everyone to anyone that clicks on this video to watch the whole video. I'll be sharing at the end of this video ways on how to cope with this exhausting or this fatigue of created by the blindness, by the low of vision, by the vision loss or sight loss. I call it sight loss. And the things that I do to deal with it, to cope with it. I'm also going to interrupt myself to invite you guys to share Blind with a Vision with anyone that you believe could benefit from watching this video and joining Blind with a Vision here on YouTube. Please subscribe. I never ask this, but I'm going to start asking because ask and it will be given to you, right? Put it in the universe. Subscribe, like, share with others. Even if you don't want to listen to Anna's voice and simple videos, please just while you're doing your dishes or cleaning or doing whatever, just play Anna's video and let it run, and don't skip the ads because then we don't get any sense. I'm also inviting everyone to join Blind with a Vision on Facebook and Blind with a Vision 2020 on Instagram, and it's Blind with a Vision 2020. Not that I have Blind with 2020 site. I used to, and that's why I know that it's very tiring being blind. I know that this could be different for anyone that was born blind. I don't know that. I don't want to assume that that's how it is. And I also don't want to ignore that it's probably the same for you. I always say out loud that, with the blind are different individuals and in all kinds of ways. However, when we talk about the blindness is honestly the same. As I have aged, in the last years, as I have lived and experienced and talked to people in other countries, right? Especially during the pandemic on Clubhouse, doing all those rooms and having those topics that Anna likes to discuss. I learned from people from all over the world that most of us have to deal with the consequences of the blindness, regardless of whether or not we went blind later in life or you were born blind. The consequences tend to be the same. It is also true that we are very unique, different. We all have come from different cultures, different country, different marital status, right? Social economical background, skin color and race, which is so important and critical in the United States as we are experiencing more than ever, right? different gender, different sexual orientation, different, right? We differ. We are so different. And at the same time, when we talk about the blindness, it is very similar, right? I'm going to check and see if anyone is here. I'm sure that I'm going to be here talking by myself. Let me see. Everyone that is here, I will only know who you are if you comment. But you welcome. Let me see. Okay. Hello. Hi, Bill. Hi, Dave. What is it? Vincent. Hello, Vincent. All right. So let's go ahead and start. Let me go ahead. I always like to describe for anyone that is totally blind. If you are low vision, you're probably able to see that Anna is sitting here. I believe I'm showing myself from below my boobs, my chest, and up. And it's on a portrait mode. So YouTube is been months that is requiring to do just live videos on the portrait. I used to do the landscape, and behind me I have a beige whitish wall with all these light strings hanging there on. I'm wearing a long sleeve tight black top. It goes up to my neck, but on above my chest. It's open across, and I have a French manicure. My hair is on a half ponytail, long hair, and I. It was tiring, and it is relevant to this topic. It was tiring attempting or having done my blind makeup. So I don't know how it looks. Excuse if it looks different. I did call someone to check on FaceTime, someone from the family, and they said it looks okay. Sometimes I feel that they're lying to me. And however, here I am. All right. So last night, after many months, I came and did a live video in English, right? And my internet at the beginning was not, it was being silly. And you can listen to my video what I'm like checking. And honestly, that's when the blindness gets in the way, and it's tiring to always having to do that. When you attempt to create simple content like Anna, and you don't have any help because you live by yourself, right? I have lived by myself for many years now, and I have a whole list of things that I'm going to share with you that get me tired because they have to do with the blindness and how it is exhausting to do this and that, right? So the makeup took me an hour because I wanted to do it right. And at the same time, I just play music and try to be positive about it. And here I am with my typical red lipstick, right? So all I was mentioning that we are very different, just like anyone else out there in the world, and at the same time we are very similar, right? Because when we are blind or we have lost sight, and for anyone that was born blind, we know how it is to wake up every single morning and put our feet on the floor, carpet, and start the whole day, right? Watching every single movement, every single step, every single corner, every single door, driveway, uh, block, and counting every single. And it's not like we stop to count every single step. Like some people have told asked me, "Do you guys really count steps?" Well, I've known people that they do when they work in an office setting, right? To find their like, especially in those call centers. But it's not like we stop and count every single step, but we really have to stop. And we have being blind requires to monitor every single thing we do, to plan every single thing. I know that in the house we don't use the why can't. People ask that question all the time, and I understand. I understand that they're curious and they really want to know, and I never get bothered by people asking all these questions. Mm, on the contrary, I actually welcome all those questions because they gave me ideas to create content and videos and to answer those questions. But living with vision loss, living blindly, and having to do everything that we have to do just like anybody else could be exhausting. Could be mentally tiring, could be just tiring, sometimes. And at the end, it's physically tiring, which, by the way, that's one of the main, in my opinion, is one of the reasons why there is a lot of muscle pain and illnesses among the blind community. And I have discussed this topic with my retina specialist, and he agrees with me. In fact, he's the one that brought up the topic, and we talk about it. So I believe, because of the mental and fatigue and the exhaustion, getting just tired about having to monitor every single step, that leads to physical pain. And the worst, well, it's not that physical pain is not the worst. The emotional tiredness, fatigue. And that's why there is a lot of depression within the blind community. And people think it's just because she's blind, because she doesn't want to accept it. And they push the whole acceptance and in the blind community, right? Even when we apply for the Department of Rehab or any program that is going to provide orientation and mobility services, they give us a white can and they say, here, be independent, right? And we fall into the whole thing. Honestly, we end up believing and falling into this whole thing, and stressing ourselves to wanting to be the super blind woman, super blind man, super blind he or she or they, or just the super blind individual. And then, believe me when I tell you that after the years, it catches up with you, right? Especially if you live alone like me, and you don't have a pair of functional eyes here to help me with those things that I am so tired of dealing with. And then we get used to it. I don't know. We'll talk about that. Right. So, number one thing for me, the number one thing, well, before I say that, the blindness requires concentration. We, the blind, it doesn't even matter if you were born blind or you lost your sight or you low vision or you have been low vision your whole life. You know that being low vision helps a lot, but it could also be very confusing, extremely confusing. And I miss my low vision, right? And after I went blind. I learned how to do things faster than when I was low vision. Specifically, there are specific things that I guess I can list. And at the end, it's helpful, right? It's very helpful to have the low vision. But I think the way when we are low vision, we now that I'm totally blind, I have, and this is a topic for a different video. But sometimes we people with low vision, they are a little slower in doing things that we the totally blind do, because now we have to rely on the sight. And I see that with my family and people, sighted people. My three sisters came to visit in December, and I took them to downtown Disney and whatever. They're sighted. They use glasses. And believe me that I'm way quicker at taking videos and taking better photos, because they're struggling with their phone there because they don't know how to use it. So I know we're faster in many things, but it is tiring the way we have to do things. Okay, so number thing that has been bothering me, and I've been tired of in the last year and more in the last months, is, you guys are going to think this is stupid, but voiceover. I have two phones. Well, I have three iPhones that I use. And I ask Siri for whatever, Siri something. And all the three phones respond. And I know I can go on my Siri settings and fix it. But then, I'm walking and I just go like, whatever, Siri. Or call someone. Or I sit down to type and then I click on the voiceover, and then I sit on my keyboard, on my Bluetooth keyboard, and that is the voice, and then voiceover is talking, and that is talking, and I'm so fed up with it. And it's been getting me angry. And then I sit down and relax with a drink, and I say, oh, Anna, take a break. Take a break. Because without voiceover, and your jaws, you would not be able to do all the things that you do. I keep touching my phone to see if I'm actually facing the video and I'm actually center here. And I'm curious to know if that happens to you, right? It is tiring. And I hear people on WhatsApp, for example, people that I've heard from Cuba, they're using, they don't, it's not like many of them have the money. They live extremely, extremely poor, and they have an Android, and they're trying to leave an audio for on my subscriber list on WhatsApp, and their talkback keeps talking and talking and talking and talking, and it's like one of the reasons why I have never purchased an Android, although I'm thinking about it, to have one of my phones to be an Android, to learn how to use it. But that is tiring, right? And the contradiction about that is that I need voiceover. And then I started thinking about, well, if I could see, I didn't have to use this stupid voiceover, right? It's always there, right? So that is one of the number one things that has been bothering me in the last months and the last weeks. The other thing is, as I mentioned before, we have to monitor everything we do. That no matter how early I get up and how much I plan and how early I start applying my makeup and getting everything ready and whatever, I'm always rushing, always rushing. And then I drop something on the floor, or I grab my purse and I grab something, and I, Uber is already coming. It's 1 minute and I have to leave my apartment, and then I have to close the door, and then I go like, oh, where did I leave this? Where, and I'm looking and looking for my purse because which is right there, right on my face. That has been bugging me more and more. And I don't know, it's because I'm getting older, because I'm not 20 anymore or 30 anymore, right? I don't know if that happens to you. That bothers me. And then when I'm applying my makeup, I drop, one of the products that is round. And the more you try to pick it up, the more you just rolls away from you. That is fucking upsetting. I used to laugh about it, and then now I honestly get tired of it. You know how many times I have applied my makeup and got ready this month to do these videos and to just record videos of topics that I wanted to do. And I end up so tired, and I just went and sat on my sofa. And it's not like I cry about it, but I was tired. My body felt tired. I was mentally tired and emotionally. And no, I'm pretty good. I learned to just say, you know what, Anna? Well, you don't know if your makeup looks okay, so just get an Uber, get your transportation, and go to the mall, go to a restaurant, and take a break from YouTube. That's why I've been away from YouTube, you guys, because I've been tired of the blindness, among many other things that have happened with the quote unquote family and just things. And I decided to take a break. Haven't really captured videos out there. I've gone out with people. I have not asked for them to take a photo. I have not take out my phone, and I decided to just please take a break. Everything takes so much. And I'm sure this is the case for you. I'm sure that you have thought about opening up a YouTube channel, maybe doing a podcast, and you have done it, or maybe you're doing it, or you're doing your own project in whatever, maybe on Facebook, maybe you share a blog, maybe whatever you do besides working. And you know how much time that it takes, that you struggle so much with the visuals that you end up giving up and say like, oh, no one is paying me for this, right? And on YouTube, here is just cents. So those are, the voiceover and just not finding things in the house and not having a pair of eyes to say like, here, Anna, which leads to the next thing. You know how tired I am to ask people for description. Like, that's why I gave up asking, and still I ask some people in the family. And they just whatever I'm showing, they grab it quickly and say, "Oh, is this?" Like right now, I'm wearing my red lipstick. I plan to use burgundy because of my black top, and I have a lipstick that is labeled with braille that says burgundy, and I use for a long time. So now that I call on FaceTime, I say like, I ask, do you like my burgundy lipstick? And they say like, it's not burgundy. That is more like a plum pinkish, but on the dark side. And they are and I'm trying to remember how that looks. And I go like, someone told me this was burgundy, and I labeled my burgundy lipstick, and it's not. They say, no, but it looks cool. It's actually a pretty good different color. Just keep it. So I went and took it off and applied my red lipstick, which I want to believe that whoever told me that this red lipstick is on the darker side, and it's not like bright Christmas red, which I use all the time during Christmas and just those occasions like February 14th and whatever. It is tiring that everything I have to do, I have to ask, right? Like earlier, I don't know what I place my color, my color identifier, and I look for it to identify my pants to see if they're black or white. I love white jeans. And I say, who F cares if they're black or white? They match with my top, right? But when I'm going to go out, I get very self conscious about it. So it's tiring that just to confirm something that you probably know it is what you think it is, that you're not sure about it. Especially when you're gonna go to a job interview or one of those locations where you want to look good, right? It is tiring. I don't know if that is tiring for you, having to ask, right? I'm the queen of just going to the store by myself, do my grocery shopping, which I hate online shopping because they send bad stuff, honestly. And I'm the queen of just going to the restaurants by myself and going here and going there. But in the last months, I've been tired of that, having to arrive to the store and ask for assistance. And I know we have to do that. We have to do it. But I will confess out loud for the first time here on my channel that a few months ago, I was outside the store with my little shopping cart, and I did feel sorry for myself. I did. And I came home and I say, thank you, God. I'm doing the cross on my, face and by my body, like the Jesus, like, thank you, God. Because I brought my food and whatever, but I did go on my sofa and was emotionally tired and cry about it. It's not like for a long time because I learned to just get up and just put my food away because it's gonna go bad, right? And then I ate and honestly did what I've been doing in the last months. I went on Netflix and I, you know, play my I watch a movie and then stupid Netflix. You want to fix this and it just keeps jumping with the screen reader and I'm tired again. And it's like, could we please get a break from the fucking blindness? Honestly, it's always there doing the peekaboo in every single corner. True. And the stupid, or well, the saddest thing is that we cannot allow ourselves to just give up, because once we give up, it's difficult to get up and keep going. I noticed that this month. I haven't been, I'm not depressed because I don't have that depression that you get here in the chest. The depression that I had when I started going blind, and that you just feel that pain in the chest and no medicine or painkiller takes that away. I haven't had that for probably 17 years or more. But it is tiring. Now I'm tired, right? Another thing that gets me so tired, honestly, I don't know if that happens to you, Is uh, cleaning blindly. I didn't get bothered by that, but you know, having to clean your place and like the supervisor from these apartments, she comes here and she go like, she's been telling me this for years. I cannot believe that you're the only blind person in these apartments, and your apartment is way, 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 way cleaner than many people that is sighted here. I try to, I try to, but there are times when having to do everything by yourself, it is tiring. It is. And it takes me longer than what it takes other people. So I don't know why that's been bothering me, especially two things: doing the whole vacuum thing and doing dishes. Yeah, I don't know. And cooking. I have always cooked. I'm pretty good at cooking. You will love my food. And I use the stove. I do not use microwave. Those things. Now, the other thing that really is tiring, and I got pretty good about it, but is, I don't know, the way you're treated by people. Even at the beginning, it's oh, you're so smart, you're so brilliant, you're so pretty. Oh, you people, this and that, and whatever. And then at the end, people don't see you less than. You're not included. And I know many of you and are gonna, are gonna argue with me. I'm like, oh, that's not true, Anna. I'm included. Yeah, we're not talking about you. In this moment, I'm talking about me, myself, right? They people just they feel that they have the right to ask you so many questions that they would never ask someone sighted. I'm curious to know if this happened to men. Like, are you married? Do you have a boyfriend? And if you say like, oh, I don't, I'm not married. Oh, poor thing. Like, or they ask, do you have a blind husband? Or do you have a blind boyfriend? Or is your family blind too? If I'm the only blind, well, physically blind in the family, because in my family I have many mentally blind people, honestly, many of them, even emotionally, because they don't have. That is tiring for me, right? Uh, what is another thing? One that is a huge one for me, and this has always been the case. It is tiring. Um, when I don't know, it's tiring to having to decide what places you should go to have fun because you're gonna go alone, or you're gonna go with someone that is helping you, but they expect you to always pay for their meal, or they're gonna charge you if they're gonna go with you to Disney, the way it happens with me. Oh, and they put a face if you don't pay for their meal besides their ticket to Disney, right? I'm tired of that. That for me to have fun or to just go out there wherever I love to go is I have to pay for their stuff. And this happens to us blind people because we get fucking tired of being in the house, right? I'm sure that if you are like Anna, you see your family having fun out there, even having the parties, and I'm not invited, I'm not included. And I got over that. I found out during the pandemic why the reasons why this is a topic for another video, the reasons why I've been excluded by my mom and how she's been the instigator. I realized the diagnosis that she has, and I always thought it was because of the blindness, and it was not. It was not because of the blindness. It was because she really has a diagnosis, and maybe someday I'll do a video about that. Because someone from in the Spanish community messaged me about 10 days ago on my and asked me about something, a situation. And I say, maybe you should check if this mom, it's not his mom, but maybe this mom has this diagnosis and it's not really your blindness that is what she's against, right? And yeah, I was not wrong. It was. So it is, for me, it is tiring that because I'm blind and because I need someone to go with me, because there are locations, I mean, I can go to the mall, I learn how to do it. I'm not embarrassed about looking blind with my cane, right? There's always people who says me and then I go like, oh, where are you going? I'm going to Sephora. Oh, I'm going that way. Do you want to go? Yeah, is it okay if I hold on to you? I never say no, right? Even if I know that we're the place, I say yes. I'm not embarrassed. I can go to I've been obsessed with eating out. They're so inclusive over there. Honestly, they keep coming to the table asking if I want more ketchup and I want soda and if I want to go to the restroom, and they're so inclusive, honestly. And I can go there by myself, but there are places where I'm going to go and I need someone sighted. I am so tired of not being able to do the things that I want to do. And I'm sure that this is the case for you, and you, right? It is tiring. And then having to spend money that you don't even have. Oh no, but they want us to be grateful because they do this for us, right? I don't know. I'm gonna stop here and interrupt myself to check and see if any one of you have questions, comments, and if you want to interact. And then if you don't, I'll go and share with you how I deal with that and why do I believe that this is very mentally, physically, and emotionally tired, and which one of those are the worst. And before I go and check, I have to tell you that my personal opinion and my experience as having lost my sight and having been diagnosed with retinitis pigmentosa at age 19 has given me the experience um, and the life experiences to conclude that a lot of the other physical health issues that we have is because of this fatigue from being exhausted about the blindness and all the consequences of the blindness. And I know some of you are going to tell me, no, Anna, it's not what happens to us, but how we react to us. Yeah, that applies for things in general. But when you're talking about having a disability, one of the disabilities that are some of the most, I don't want to say that it's worse than being in bed all day or on your wheelchair, but I know this could be a contradiction. We, the blind, are able to do so much with accessible technology now, right? With accessibility, which, by the way, Trump is taking away digital accessibility online because it's illegal to have the diversity, equity, and inclusion um, initiatives, right? Anyway, I'm going to check here. Let me see. Please excuse Anna. Thank you so much for joining with Anna. Let me see. I'm flicking here. Okay. Hi, Bill. Hi. I'm just flicking here. Michael says, "What are you jumping up?" Hello, Amy. Thank you for letting me know that I look good. Visions and limits. I like that. I like that. Visions and limits. Hello. Who kicked your dog? I wonder who kicked your dog. Your dog was pooping in the yard and someone kicked your dog. So was it someone out there? Well, when I had my guidance, um, I have this neighbor that I was passing with a blind friend who had a guide dog, and his guide dog pooped right there, very close to the curb. And he was taking out his bag to pick it up because I said pick it up, and the lady just came out screaming, and he just picked it up without responding and showed it to her and said, "Yeah, here." He said he wished he would have just threw that on her face, but you know, those are the things that at the end they get tiring having to deal. That's another thing. When I had my guidos, I had three guidos already. It was very, very tiring having to deal with Lyft, Uber, and all those mentally blind drivers. It was so tiring, which brings me to another thing that I'm so tired of having to be nice to all those organizations and institutions for the blind, like Guide Dogs of America, where, you know, that's why I'm not nice and I'm speaking out loud. Even if they sue me, even if they send me to jail, even if they say, I will say what they have done. I will continue speaking up. I'm not going to get scared. Can you guys believe that Guides of America sent me a letter? And I know it was instigated by some blind person working there. They sent me a letter saying that they're going to sue me because I posted on Facebook, on social media, even if they put me on jail, even if they do, where are they going to get money from? Well, just put me in jail because I don't have the money. How are they going to look before the eyes of all the blind people and low vision and guide dog users and puppy raisers and donors, like suing a blind person who was highly discriminated? That is one thing that I'm so tired of, all these organizations and institutions for the blind. And I'm not saying that every single one, because Guide Us for the Blind is pretty good, I have to say. That has always been my number one school. They're pretty good. And it's not like I will not acknowledge that you had a situation with Guide Us for the Blind, but I will always speak out my mind, as long as I'm able to speak and think and move. I will disagree with those institutions that profit out of the blind community. That is exhausting, tiring. And for my blind people to be afraid and not wanting to say out loud that they disagree because they're afraid of retaliation and not getting their services. And they know that. That is really tiring. Very. Let me see. Anybody else? Good night. Someone in a different language. I'm not sure what it says. Hello, thank you. I'm reading messages here. Okay, nobody has a question. You guys done? I don't know, let me see. All right, so nobody else has questions, and I haven't been here, so it's not like people. I do all these lives all the time, and I have an audience. So I haven't, after mentioning all those things that I get tired, there is a whole list. There is more than that, right? My number one in the last months again is, I don't know. I'm tired of this having to deal with voiceover and having to depend on this all accessible technology, having to do everything, right? It is not having the sight overall is tiring, right? Uh, but the number one thing is not being able to just go places where I want to go. Honestly, I love just to be out there. And now that we're having this whole political situation in the United States, it's scary for us, as the brown, or how they call us. Just immigration is everywhere, and it's not like I don't have my citizenship. I do, but they don't care. They're cleaning the whole country. We're having an authoritarian regime. We have a dictator. here in the States, and millions of people voted for him. And now this is my opinion, now we know who people are. We now know who was never on your side. We now know who always view some of us as the brown Anna, right? In the name of racism, they voted for this, and now they're crying about it. And I feel with a big smile, I say, "I told you so," right? So it is scary to be out there. But how do I deal with all these things that because the blindness is there. The fact is that the blindness is there. The sight loss is there. The low vision is there. And even if the low vision helps you, it could be very confusing because you depend on that little sight that you have. And I'm a witness that slows down people. Yeah, that's when I say, like, we totally blind people, we know how to deal with this whole blindness, and we're faster at doing things. Some things, of course, the low vision really helps to be out there, because it's not like you can see all the details, but you can see the grass, the sidewalk, you can see kind of the cars coming. It's not like you can distinguish the color of the car, but now you're able to just cross the street easily with your white cane, the low vision. And even if you're not able to distinguish, to spot the door of the business, like it's there, and then it's easier to find whatever the locations, or you're able to travel a little bit easier, even if you require accommodations. But when we're totally blind, you know, it takes time. It takes time to do things, and it's not a safe. Like right now, there's a lot of just crazy people out there, and I really planning to just go to Mexico. Well, that if we're able to leave the country, because with those plane crashes, to prevent that people leave the country, it's scary, right? And if they don't close the borders to Mexico, I'm honestly in the process of just getting all my documents from Mexico. Who knows what will happen? But my way to deal with this whole thing is been, it improved throughout the years. It's not that I more this is I'm tired lately. It's been like that. It was like that at the beginning, but then I realized, like, oh, Anna, this is how it is. You're blind, and this is what we have to sit down and I always say it, like, family and people care, but they don't care that you're blind. They do, but they don't, because they have to keep, going on with their life. They work, they do whatever they have to do, and their life, of course, everyone's, we all have our priorities, right? So it's not like people are going to stop to always think about if you need something or you need this and that. And when they realize that we need extra help, or we, need to hold on to them, or they need to just kind of guide us, that is mentally tiring for them, I guess. And they don't really care. So when I realize that people don't really care, that's when I say, you know what, Anna, you just need to get up and do this and do that. And I became pretty good at it. I did. And I became the superwoman with all the struggles. And then the whole number one thing about being discriminated with by Uber because of the guide dogs, and having to deal with this, and then having to deal with the whole thing in those locations where I work, like at Walt Disney Travel and Marriott and those locations, and Braille, and when there is always another blind person competing with you, that is also very tiring. I never understood that one. That is the one that is tired. I don't have to deal with that lately in the last years. Alexa, stop. I set up my Alexa to time myself, because I always go over the hour. But that is now that I don't have the guide dog, I have to say that I do. I I don't have to deal with that anymore, right? But I have to deal with not walking so fast without a guide dog out there. But for now, I'm taking a long break from the guide dog, and I don't think I'm gonna get one. So my opinion that about how to deal with all these things that I mentioned, and if you're going through some particular things that you're getting tired of it, because it's different. You might be someone that is blind with, married with a sighted spouse, and they quote unquote make your life easier, or maybe not. Maybe you're someone that is a couple and you guys are both blind, and you have to deal with things. I know how it is to deal when, I am a single mom. My daughter is not a baby anymore. It's not a it's not with me anymore, and it was very tiring. Well, but she didn't ask me to have the kid. I did. Um, and the quote unquote sperm donor sighted left before 2 weeks before she was born. So like he said, he didn't want to go be with someone that was going blind. So I had to do it myself, and I did it. So we all have different lives, different situations. You might be someone that is low vision and you're pretty functional. You might be someone that is totally blind and you go to work and do your stuff and you don't care. You might be someone that was born totally blind, and you don't know how it is to have that side to miss the way I do, or you know how it is to have that freedom of the sight. But the reality is that once we have the vision loss, the low vision, and regardless of how you got the blindness, the reality is that we are here, and whenever we allow ourselves to get really um, fatigued, and to on top of that get tired, angry and mad, to get upset about it, that is when things start getting worse for us, because we start getting mentally, emotionally tired, start getting depressed with anxiety, and then you get physically sick. You end up getting fibromyalgia, muscle pain. You end up just not even wanting to get out there, which is the worst. Not even wanting to go places, and just spending a lot of time in the house, um, feeling bad about not fully participating in the community. Those are the things that actually push me to say, you know what, Anna, you just have to go for it. You have to go to school. You have to get your degrees. You have to work in whatever job you can find. It is tiring. It is, it is, I forgot the transportation situation when you have to go to work. I'm sure any one of you, if you're going to be watching this video, if you work full time, Monday to Friday, it's so tiring. It's exhausting having to wait for your accessible transportation every morning on the way over there and coming here. There were times when I used to work at 6 in the morning for Marriott, the Marriott Worldwide Reservation. They hired the first 10 blind people for Marriott, and I was one of them years ago. Uh, and they used to pick me up at 4:30, and the access bus makes this big noise, and a neighbor bothered me for months, even kicking the bus because the bus would wake him up. And my ex didn't want to defend me. He just go like, "Oh, just ignore him." How could I ignore that guy that he was screaming and yelling until one driver grabbed him from his neck, from his shirt, and said like, "You better stop. You better stop kicking my bus or bothering Anna," right? Um, so that's another thing that I've been okay for now, but when you work full time, it is tiring. So you might be someone that is tired about it. And the thing is that just the way I mentioned that we're so different from each other, but because of the blindness, we're so similar. It is the same. The consequences of being fatigued because of the blindness, the consequences end up being the same. I know the way you're living with it is different, because you might live with your family, you're depressed, maybe they're pushing you and saying like, "Oh, you're just lazy, you don't want to go out. I don't know why you're depressed. I don't know why you're anxious." There is blind people that actually are, out there doing this and doing that. and not acknowledging and validating the reasons why you feel mentally tired, physically tired, now physically sick, emotionally exhausted, and with depression and much more, right? Now, if I share what I'm going to share helps, I will be happy about it. But keep in mind that what I have done for me, it's for my particular experience, and I confirm that that works, right? So when I get tired about the voiceover, when I get tired about many other things, what I do is just to stop what I'm doing, thing that I didn't do for years, and I struggled for years, and I used to get so angry and upset. I now it's been a few years and more that I, especially these last 5 months, I been loving Anna way, way more, gifting Anna, the time to just Anna, go to the restaurant or cook some food and watch Netflix movies. I love watching Netflix. It's one of I have all these applications that I have someone in the family gave me their password, and all I want to watch is Netflix. And every single day, you guys, this is critical. It's critical for you to keep active, even if it's in the house. I go on my patio early in the morning when I wake up, do my prayers. I practice my gratitude. I do it. I've been doing this for years. Practicing what you have instead of what you don't have is the number one tip that I can give you, and the one that has worked for me. With the blind, really, this is huge. The way we're able to deal with the blindness, and most of you call it accepting, I call it adopting. The way I was able to adapt to the blindness uh, and be okay with it, quote unquote, be okay, is by focusing on what I have and not on what I don't have. Even if I get tired about doing things blindly, that's not going to go away. That's part of life. Sighted people experience the same in a different way. They don't have to deal with the lack of sight, but they have many other things that they have to deal with. Just for example, like a father that has many children, like my dad, they had 7 kids, seven, 4 females, 3 males. I'm the four female, the middle, you know, and having to come to the United States because there was no food, nothing. I mean that always acknowledge, I validate that for my dad. So people also have their own, they also get tired, and some sighted people is workaholic. They work and work and work and work to get money, and then they get really sick, right? But for us, the blind, focus on what you have. I promise that that's going to help you. The way I start doing it, and I still do, is I wake up, I sit up, and I start saying out loud, thank you, God. If you believe in God or the universe or whatever, thank you for everything I have, because I'm able to think. My cognitive abilities is still okay. I do. I have to, I confess. That's what I say out loud. Because I have my arms, my body, I'm able to eat, my legs. I'm pretty fast at walking. I'm able to move. I have this place to live. I have food. I have some money. I have my internet connection. I have, even though I know I get tired about my voiceover, but thanks for the accessibility. Thank you for because I have my iPhones. Thank you because I have everything I have. And of course, who doesn't want more material stuff? Well, I don't get obsessed about it, but a good salary would be extremely helpful for Anna. I could just hire people that it could help. But of course, when we're blind, Anyone that is working, what works for you takes advantage. Believe me, if I tell you about it, that's for another video. You hire people to come and help you clean and do things, and it's like they think you don't, you're blind. She's not gonna be able to know, right? But I do go around my two-bedroom apartment and say thank you because I have this and that. Then what I do, I go on my I go outside and walk. I even listen to something. I confess, on my patio, walk with my cane. But pretty much I get on my treadmill for 45 minutes, listening to a podcast, listening to something educational. And what I listen to a lot lately in the last probably 6 months, 5 months, is listening to Italian. I'm teaching myself Italian. I took out a big keyboard that I have, and I've been just been silly trying to learn, the keyboard. And this is for my mental health, for my emotional health, right? And I decided to take a break from YouTube, so you can take a break from things that you keep doing, and it's getting you exhausted. We need a break. I am taking a break from many people, including family members. And it's not the first time that I had to do it, including mom. If you have to take a break from people, follow this advice that I was given by a psychologist when I was doing my first master's degree. Remember talking to having therapy at the university. And the psychologist looked at me and said, like, Anna, it is okay to divorce family members. And I did. And after that, I learned that I could easily divorce those quote unquote friends or people that are backstab you the way it just happened with someone that I was texting on my phone, right? That you think that they're gonna be your friends and like you wanna build friendships but no. So for me it's very easy to just get rid of people, I have to say. I became really good at it. And I do not mind not to have many friends because they are not really friends. They're not. And that's just my personal opinion. They're just bodies and people that you can just have fun with, but everyone looks for their own convenience and they just, I don't know, maybe it's just my experience. People want to use you. Although I've been told in the family that is because I'm always so nice with everyone, so welcoming and so whatever, and I don't set limits. It could be true. So doing exercising is a huge thing for humans. Exercising. If you don't exercise, even by just going for a walk or even walking around your small patio the way I do, like for 30 minutes, really focus on what you're listening to, it could be very helpful. And that prevents you from ending up, having leg issues and knee issues and whatever, right? Meditation is something that I have never been able to be good at it, right? But I do take breaks and I enjoy, cooking for my meals. But lately, I do simple stuff because I've been taking a break. Um, Another thing I've been doing is doing things that I have not done before. When I could see, I used to cut people's hair. I used to know how to. My mom was always a seamstress. My aunt was like my mom. They, there are people that are seamstress and my aunt's still doing that. She's 82. And I learned. I grew up knowing how to, do my clothes and stuff. And I always enjoy. And I go like, I've been thinking like, I wonder if I can still do that. And I took out my those color pencils, those colors to have for children. But well, I have those because I use those for my child and counseling class and things. And I always knew how to draw, you know. So I've been practicing on a blackboard that I have. I'm practicing my writing because I go like, did I forget how to write? I've been labeling a lot of stuff in my place, and I've been putting things on folders and labeling the folders and things that I didn't even take the time, really time to do that. And I've been just doing different stuff, giving myself, taking a break from people that they don't deserve my time. Do not want to waste time. When I was younger, I wasted time with people that were, you know, they were not worth it. So invest your time for you. I've been telling someone in the family who needs guidance is like, be your first girlfriend, be your first love, fall in love with yourself. You have to take care of yourself. If you don't do that, I'm not asking for you to be evil towards people and do bad stuff to people, but you really need to think about you, yourself, right? I would say that, find out, stop doing the same thing. Like blind people, all they do is, and I'm generalizing, and that is totally wrong, right? We shouldn't over generalize, but it is very typical that all people want to do is just download and download and download applications, accessible applications, and that's how they entertain themselves for days, weeks, months, years, and then there is no job for us. We have to really become really good at really preparing to get a job, or to come up with a little business or something. Like, I'm always amazed about blind people here in the States. If you're a native speaker and your English is fluent and pretty good, you could easily be teaching English and even having a YouTube channel. And now that we're having this critical situation in the United States, all of us could use our voice to agree or disagree with whoever you want to disagree, and speak about what's going on in the country, right? Stop doing the same thing. Doing the same things that every single blind person does is not going to help you, right? I have to say that I know how to use technology and this and that, but I was never really good at, like, I was always brilliant about learning quickly, but I never invested so much time, like, or I don't invest time just downloading and downloading and downloading applications. If there is something that comes out and I check it out and I go like, oh, this is going to help me. So many applications slow you down. I got the Meta glasses, and they sent me two pairs. I have to do a video about that. I did try them and whatever, but honestly, after the honeymoon, with your Meta glasses, is one more device that slows you down, and you have to carry with you and this and your phone, and it's crazy. It's crazy. So start by counting your blessings. Focus on what you have, not on what you don't have. If the things that are getting you upset and tired and exhausted are something that you can do differently and you have help from people, take it, but not if you're the one that is going to be helping them with your money, and it's just because you need help. I stopped. I rather not go to places if people are going to continue using me. Honestly, even blind people have done that. I'm not. I don't have the. I'm not mandated, or I don't have why to just pay all your stuff. If we're gonna go out as a blind friends, you pay for your stuff, I pay for my stuff, and don't pretend like, oh, you're not paying attention, that I'm the only one that is paying. No, And if there is no people that I find to go to Disney because they want me to buy the ticket and whatever, and then they mistreat you over there and they ignore you and not even give you the visual description, or this happens to you, you know what? Just don't go out with those people. Continue looking for others. There is good people, kind people out there. But for us, the blind is difficult to find, right? Those who will do it. And start doing different things. If one thing is not working, you don't want to spend 5, 10, 15, 20 years just sitting behind your phone downloading applications for the blind. That's not going to help you. Whenever you think about, whenever you look back, it's like 15, 20 years have passed by. and always think about improving your life and yourself and your life. And I know I get upset about things falling down and whatever, but now, I've been coming up with strategies about this. Like I just did my makeup, and one of the things is about when you apply your mascara and sometimes it drops, and then you erase like your powder or your makeup that you did. So today I started by just applying my eyeliner, and I just realized I didn't put my black eyeliner on the top right now, but I did a beige eyeliner on the bottom that is supposed to look your eyes make a little bigger. um, and I didn't apply, other than my lotion, whatever, my face lotion, and then um, I did that, and then I did my shadow because my shadow has a little sparkle, and sometimes it falls on your, below your lower lashes, and um, and then it's there. Being blind, I'm not able to, but they told me, oh, you have to clean it now and you have to redo the makeup. So I did my eyeliner and then it was a strategy to do this first, and then I did my mascara, and then I cleaned, and then I applied whatever else, and I didn't get any mascara on my face, right? So try different strategies for whatever you're doing. Try different strategies. I don't know if you with the voiceover, I've been taking breaks. I just turn it off and go and do something else, right? Now, one of the things that I have to say, because the blindness requires a lot of concentration for every single thing, is it is always a great idea to have therapy, mental health services. If you have insurance that for now is covering that, you can even do it over the phone. Get a psychologist. Ask your insurance for that or a psychotherapist, or even social workers nowadays do therapy, mental health services. It is very helpful. And if you don't like one because you don't identify and you're not establishing building rapport with that, call the insurance and ask for another one. You can ask for a male, female. That really helps. It's confidential. You can talk about whatever you want, and it could be very helpful. I did it now in November and December, and I finally canceled. I told her, like, I'm okay now. And uh, having those about 6 sessions really help. It really helped. So having someone that you trust, even if you don't have an insurance that covers your mental health services, you know, um, find someone that you really trust and talk with this person. Of course, we have to be so careful with whom we share very important, personal information. And in the blind community, it's not like you can really find people that you can really trust with such information. But mental health services, enroll in a support group, do volunteer work, and always be learning something new. And if it's towards your career or what you want to do in the future, even better. Don't just entertain yourself with little things, right? Or one of the things that we the blind do a lot is listen to audiobooks. I have to say that I read on my Learning Ally app, um, but I read different books. I alternate, and I been listening to watching documentaries and things. For me, is looking for podcasts that I'm learning. And if you're 20, 25, you're in that age where you probably are not exhausted yet. But believe me, as you get older, it's the blindness continues catching up. So don't try to be the Superman and Superwoman at that early and judge the older blind people. Saying like, oh no, you're just old. Well, if we're older than 20 or 25, we don't know if you're gonna be able to live, a longer life. So don't practice ageism. They practice towards Biden. I hope this video is helpful. There is a lot that I can say about what you can do, but I would say that the focus number one is to really, really come into terms with the blindness and understand that being blind involves getting tired, mentally fatigued. It is exhausting, exhausted. You have to take breaks. I have videos here on my channel where I'm at a restaurant and I'm talking about this. Like when you have to take a break from the F blindness. I said it out loud. Yeah, you have to take breaks from the blindness. If something is not working for the moment, take a break. Go and do something fun. Go and grab a snack, but just don't overeat. And look for help with different people. Oh, that's another thing I've been doing. If there is someone that I met and I'm able to spend time with these people and it's fun for whatever, I have no problem now getting rid of that person if they start making my life miserable. And it's only about them. And they're going to waste my time because their plan is just to, you know, entertain themselves. It's not really the friendship. I have no issue. Like if I've been doing it this last months. If someone is gonna help me because I don't know, they're gonna help me with something in the house, and then they come and then they say, "Oh, this and that," I go like, "Okay, I don't need you anymore," and then I look for somebody else. And if someone invites me to go for a meal, I go. And if I see faces, I just say, I don't accept any more invitations. Or if I met someone that invited me, a guy, to ask me out, and they invited me to eat, and they start acting weird, I go like, never mind. Uh, I mean, don't give up about doing things. Find, still continue finding people. There is people that are willing to spend time in doing things. But one of the ones that I is really exhausting and tiring is like the whole thing about not being able to travel because it requires somebody else who, especially when you're a female and you're, totally blind. And if you're not rich or you're not wealthy and you don't have a good salary to just, you know, hire the help, where you have the right to say, hey, you're working. You're not just a friend. I mean, with friends, you cannot just tell them what to do because you end up upset about it. So that's the one that I'm not able to give you a tip for, I guess, is to find a really good job, career, make money, hire your own people and do it, which that's what I would do. But anyway, I hope this video is helpful. I'm already over my hour. Let me see if anyone has made a question. I doubt that. Mhm. Okay. Visions and Limits is asking how many guides have you had and which was the most difficult about having them? I've had 3 guidos. I went for the 4th one over a year ago to Guidos of America. I was highly discriminated. Uh, they gave me a guide dog that was so beautiful, most beautiful dog ever, but was a dog that was forced to be a guide dog, poor thing. The most difficult thing that I had when having a guide dog, the first one that came up to my mind is going to restaurants and not being able to feed the dog because they're so able to just looking up at you and looking at people and salivating. And I know that this guide dog that I got from Guides America was pretty good about not even asking for food. This dog had emotional issues for sure. But I guess the number one thing was the discrimination from Uber, Lyft, and transportation. And I'm going to have to include family members and people who ask you to leave your dog if you want to go and visit. Those people, I got rid of them long time ago. I even had a blind friend and the sighted wife who when they invited me to a dinner and I arrived with my first guy that I remember with my ex. They just opened a little bit of the door and they said like, "Oh, go on the side door." And they asked me to come in through the laundry room and insisted on putting socks on my dog, and I refused to do so. I never, never, ever visited those people again. Oh, you agree with my, okay. You agree with my topics. So let me see if anyone else is here. Okay, an hour and 15 minutes. I always go over. I'm going to stop here. I want to stop right here to ask you to share this video with anyone that you think could benefit. I don't know if they could benefit from what Anna shares here, but if you know anyone, please share the video. Subscribe if you have not subscribed. I never ask this on my videos, and I decided to do so. Please subscribe, share, like this video, take a look at other videos. Join me on Blind with a Vision on Facebook, Blind with a Vision on Blind with a Vision 2020 on Instagram. And I want to invite you to actually go to Blue Sky. It's another application that I actually decided not to share anything about the blindness on Twitter. I will always call it Twitter. And Blue Sky, it's pretty accessible, but still not all the way. I like the application. Um, Go and check it out. Blue Sky, millions of people left Twitter and went over there. That is not nasty the way it is on Twitter right now. Well, maybe I should call it X because so many X's are there, right? When I say X, it's just people that are just, they're X, nothing, just nothing, whatever, have no value, just an X. But I want to really start asking if you guys support Blind with a Vision. I've been here on Blind with a Vision for years and it's not really successful, although whenever I don't upload, people message and ask like, "Oh, I miss your videos, and how come you're not sharing anymore?" and this and that. Because of the political situation in the United States, I decided to come back. I'm going to be sharing videos relevant to that, related to that, and how that is going to be how whatever is going on is affecting the blind and disabled community overall. After this, I'm going to open up this room in Spanish, and I'm in the process of just separating the Spanish channel with this one. But for now, I'm going to open up another video, and I'm going to take a break to get myself a snack, and then I'm going to come and open up a video in English to maybe a short video to talk about uh, one of the topics that is related to the whole scary situation happening in the United States, and that is probably going to, most likely is going to affect us, the blind and low vision. Thank you for joining, Anna, and I hope you like this video, this live. If you are able to leave a comment, please give me tips, feedback, positive criticism, and yeah, tell me, how are you doing? How are you doing during these days? These days, and maybe you can comment on the video about what I share. Tell us what are the things that are get you exhausted. I'm sure a lot of the ones that I mentioned are similar, um, similar to what you experience, and I'm sure that there is a whole list that you have to live and experience, and that I also experience, and many of us around the globe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next vision. I'm going to click the finish button, and well, bye for now. Ciao, ciao. Are you sure you want to stop streaming? Yes, I'm pretty sure. Bye for now.